Welcome back. What's up? Thank you for joining me here on WNBA Friday as we'll be discussing the Golden State Valkyries. 18 wins, a franchise record, also a WNBA record. Is it enough to get them into the playoffs to be the first WNBA franchise that is an expansion team to make it in their inaugural year? Plus, I'll be discussing the individual awards. Who's going to win them? Who are my favorites? Who will go home with them at the end of this season? All that will be discussed here on this podcast that we call Quick Hits. If you're new to the show, what's good? I'm Shannon Smith, aka Podcast Smitty, and I am a fan of sport. Now let's roll this theme music and let's get this show started.
Can't fall off, now they holler he'll turn, thinking I'ma sell out, talking just to feel heard. I never listen, although they say it's strictly.
Welcome back to the show. Now let's finish up by discussing these individual awards. I'll speak on last year's winners. I'll speak on the front runners and who I think will win these awards. Let's start out with Coach of the Year. Last year's winner was Cheryl Reeve, who coached the runner-up to the WNBA championship, the Minnesota Lynx. Got them to a 30-win season. She also took home Executive of the Year because she is the GM of the squad. She puts the squad together and she coaches it. Cheryl Reeve, one of the architects of great basketball teams, got Minnesota at the very top of the WNBA yet again for this season. Now, in my opinion, there are only two candidates for Coach of the Year, and that's Carl Smesko of the Atlanta Dream and Natalie Nakase of the Golden State Valkyries. Now, Carl, this is his first year in Atlanta. This is his first year. He was Florida Gulf Coast women's basketball coach since they began the program. He ended up leaving last year, many times going to the national tournament, coached some great players, coached a great team, great program. Now he's on into the WNBA, where he has a very, very tough and competitive Atlanta Dream squad. And also, of course, with Natalie Nakase, I've always wanted to say that. It's Nakase. Sorry about that. This is her first gig as a WNBA head coach, and she coached the team that set the record for most wins in an inaugural season. I got to give it to her. I don't see why she wouldn't win Coach of the Year this year with what Carl Smesko has with the Atlanta Dream compared to what Natalie Nakase has with the Golden State Valkyries is why I think that she is going to be Coach of the Year. There's that squad in Atlanta is stacked up. You got Bree Jones, you've got Brittany Griner, you've got Alicia Gray, who we'll be talking about later on in this game, in this podcast, compared with Ryan Howard, who was their top draft pick a couple years back. Ryan is a great player, got to the WNBA All-Star game this year. Same with Alicia Gray. He's got All-Stars on this squad. And yes, I know that Coach Nakase had one All-Star in Kayla Thornton, but looking at the squad that Carl has and looking at her squad, it's easy to see that Natalie Nakase deserves Coach of the Year this year. Then we'll move it on to Sixth Player of the Year, last year's winner, Tiffany Hayes, who played for the Las Vegas Aces last year. She is now in a starting role with the Golden State Valkyries, who we just talked about on this very podcast. See the progression of this award going from sixth player to the starting lineup. Very good job there for Tiffany Hayes. Very, very happy for her. Now, when it comes down to Sixth Player of the Year, I have three in mind. Jessica Shepard from the Minnesota Lynx, Sophie Cunningham from the Indiana Fever, and Naz Hillman from the Atlanta Dream. My pick has got to be Naz Hillman. I picked Naz Hillman because Nas, she's started 8 games in place of Ryan Howard, who was hurt, but she's got 35 games that she's played. And Nas, great scoring punch off the bench, averaging close to 8 points per game, coming off the bench in about 25 minutes. She is one of those players that if you need great offense, she's going in, and she has performed very, very well with less minutes. Sophie Cunningham has started a few more games this year. She started about 13 games. Unfortunately, she's out for the rest of the season with the MCL tear. But I believe Sophie, one of those players who just gets off the bench, she can shoot it. She can shoot very, very well. Very, very good defender on the perimeter. I like what Sophie has done with this Indiana Fever, coming off the bench, being that 6th player. And Jessica Shepard playing on that Minnesota Lynx squad. Good defender, also very good with scoring off of the bench. She scored about 8.5 points per game. I believe she started as many games as Nas has, which is about 8, but she is one of the primary bench players coming off of the bench. Very good scorer, very good defender on the perimeter. My pick is Nas, but I do believe that Sophie Cunningham is going to come away with this, and I believe that because of the popular vote. I know that fans can't vote for 6th player of the year, but I think the fans would like to see Sophie Cunningham come away with that award, especially with the injury. I don't think the injury had any play in it, but I think when she defended Caitlin Clark, when Caitlin was fouled, was hit by Marina Mabrey in the Connecticut Sun game, when she came with that hard foul to JC, as she's now with the Washington Mystics now, with her coming with that hard foul, hitting her, JC Shelton, that earned the heart of the fans. Her jersey went crazy. Great sales of her jersey. So I believe that Sophie Cunningham will come away with 6th player of the year. Now the most improved player. Last year's winner was Dejanay Carrington, who was with the Connecticut Sun at that time. We all know that Dejanay was with the Dallas Wings. She ended up getting traded to the Minnesota Lynx, where she is thriving with the #1 squad in the WNBA. Now, I have a beef with this award when it comes down to the candidates, because Alicia Gray is added as a candidate. She's in the running for this award, but I think that is a little bit of an insult to her game. I believe she would fit in the MVP voting. I'll be talking about her in the MVP voting. Alicia Gray has been an all-star. She's played very, very well this year. This is her first year in Atlanta. I get it. But I feel like she is more fitted for MVP votes than she is for most improved player, because I believe that she has proven how good of a player she has. It's just been overlooked, of course. But I'll add her in there for the sake of it. Azuria Stevens is another candidate. Azuria was hurt last year. She came back this year. She's been a force in that front court with De'Erica Hamby and with Rakia Jackson as well, too, with that Los Angeles Sparks squad. I like that squad. I really do. I just want them to get better at closing games. They closed last night's game with, not last night, Wednesday night's game, where they beat the Dallas Wings. Yes, but they're fighting for that 8th playoff spot, trying to get up towards Seattle. But if you ask me, the one person that needs to come away with this award is Veronica Burton. Veronica Burton was almost out of the league when she was waived by Dallas, picked up by Connecticut, and not protected in the expansion draft, and she went to the Golden State Valkyries. She was able to thrive. She went from scoring 3 points per game off the bench to having a starting role as the starting point guard, and she scored close to 12 points per game. She's got 1.5 steals per game, leading the team in assists with over 5 assists per game. She has played very, very well, upped her game. She's a very good defender. She was a 3-time Defensive Player of the Year for the Big Ten when she was in college. She's a very defensive-minded point guard. She's played very good basketball this year with the Golden State Valkyries. She has to win it because she has jumped her stats have jumped, and she's shown that she is a capable player in a starting role. So you got to give it to Veronica Burton. She is my favorite for most improved player. And then we go to the Rookie of the Year. Last year's winner, of course, Caitlin Clark, winning it. Unfortunately, Caitlin's had a very rough year when it comes down to injury. I hate that for her. I would love to see her play some more. I like to see what this Indiana Fever team would be like in the playoff hunt with Caitlin Clark playing in the season. So there's 3 candidates that I have, and honestly, after 2 days ago, there should be only one, but I'll go ahead and talk about the 2. They're both teammates, Kiki Arifin and Sonia Citron. Kiki Arifin, of course, a double-double magnet, scoring about 12.5 points per game, grabbing 8.6 rebounds per game, leads the team in that. Sonia Citron has become the leading scorer of the team since Brittany Sykes was traded to the Seattle Storm. They've had great rookie years. Both of them played very well, very good team basketball that they've played on this squad, but it's Paige Bueckers, especially after scoring 44 points 2 nights ago against the LA Sparks. It was in a loss, I get it, but Paige has been scoring. She's had a string of 20-point games this year. They're building off of her, and rightfully so. Paige is a bucket anytime she walks on the court. 19.5 points per game this year, 4.5 rebounds, about 5 assists per game, about 1.5 steals. Paige is doing work. She's played very, very well, and I believe Wednesday's game cemented that already with her getting Rookie of the Year, Paige Bueckers, for the Dallas Wings. Then we go Defensive Player of the Year. Last year's Defensive Player of the Year, of course, was Napheesa Collier. MVP is what I call her after winning the All-Star MVP this year. We'll be talking about her later on. The candidates for Defensive Player of the Year, you've got Alana Smith. What's up, cuz? You've got Asia Wilson. You've got Napheesa Collier getting votes as well, too. I'll be talking about her a little bit. And then you have Gabby Williams. Alana Smith tied for second in block shots per game, 2.1. Of course, Asia Wilson leading the WNBA in blocks yet again. Asia's the best two-way player in the WNBA without a doubt. MVP, Napheesa Collier, even though she's been injured, she is top 5 in steals per game and blocks per game. That's defense. That's defense. If I ain't seen it, that's dominance on the defensive side of the ball for Napheesa Collier. But my pick has got to be Gabby Williams. Gabby is your lockdown defender on the perimeter, leads the WNBA in steals, 2.4 steals per game as we speak. But think about it, though. The last time a guard won Defensive Player of the Year, it was in 2019. Natasha Howard won, and she was a swing player. She played guard and forward. The last true guard to win it was Debbie Black in 2001. So I think it's time that a guard wins it. We've had forwards win it. We've had centers win it. Not saying that they didn't deserve it, but it's good seeing a guard play some very hellacious defense, which is what Gabby Williams has done with one of the toughest defensive teams in the WNBA, in the Seattle Storm. Give me Gabby Williams for Defensive Player of the Year. And now we go to the MVP. Last year's winner, unanimous winner, Asia Wilson won it unanimously. The second unanimous MVP in all of the WNBA. Cynthia Cooper did it in 1997, the inaugural year of the WNBA. Your candidates are Asia Wilson, Alicia Gray, Alyssa Thomas, and of course, MVP, who could do it this year. Honorable mention to Kelsey Mitchell. I want to say honorable mention to her. I know she won't get it. I know it's an outside chance, but honorable mention to her with how well she has played. She put up 38 in Sunday's game against the Connecticut Sun in overtime. Big time clutch play for Kelsey Mitchell. But going down the line with all these, A'ja Wilson, she's played very, very good. A 39-20 game, the very first 39-20 game by any WNBA player. 39 points, 20 rebounds is what she did. She's the best two-way player in all of the WNBA. Take A'ja away from that squad, which it happened. She did get hurt, and A'ja did not play, and that team sputtered when A'ja was not on the court. Then we go to Allisha Gray. To me, who is the only constant out of all four of these players here. She's the only one that's not been hurt. But Allisha, with the way she's played, 18.5 points per game, second on the team in rebounds. What a playmaker she is. Wonderful from the perimeter. Allisha Gray has played very, very well, been the offensive punch, leading the team in scoring for the Atlanta Dream in her first year with this squad. I think Allisha is incredible. Great play from her. She doesn't get said a lot. That quiet confidence of Allisha Gray is a big thing for the Atlanta Dream. And then we go to Alyssa Thomas. Alyssa Thomas, 20 triple doubles in a career. She had 5 triple doubles this year. The second place player is Sabrina Ionescu in career triple doubles. She has 4. Alyssa Thomas got 5 of them this year. Alyssa Thomas has been tough. She's been hurt. The Phoenix Mercury has sputtered with her not being here, with her not being on the team. So I got to give credit to Alyssa Thomas. And then you've got MVP Napheesa Collier, who has had a wonderful year this year. She's been on the shelf with injury. She's missed about 5 games. She's looking to come back before the end of the season. But the knock with MVP is that they've won without her. And that's something to be looked at. The team didn't falter when Napheesa Collier was hurt. They've still played very, very well. They've got great performance from Shannon Smith. They've got Courtney Williams that's played very, very well. Natasha Heidemann coming off of the bench. Kayla McBride shooting everything and hitting everything as well too. They've had some great production from their team. They're a great team. They're a great team. They've got the best teamwork in the WNBA. Best chemistry, best synergy. So with Fee not being in the game, it kind of affects it for me. If I had a vote, I'm voting Alyssa Thomas for MVP this year. Do I think she'll win it? I don't think so. I think it's Fee's year. I think Napheesa Collier will win it. I got Minnesota winning the championship this year. They're out for blood. Fee is playing very, very well. I hate that she got hurt, but she will be back as the Minnesota Lynx will be number 1 in the playoffs, the number 1 seed in the WNBA playoffs. Now, we're going to go ahead and hit the trivia question, then we're out of here. The Las Vegas Aces, we're going to do last week's, and then we're going to go with this week's. Last week's question was, the Las Vegas Aces were the second team to win back-to-back WNBA championships. Who was the first team? And that team was the Houston Comets, winning the inaugural championship in 1997 and the second one in 1998, coached by Van Chancellor, who won three straight Coach of the Year awards with the WNBA. The inaugural championship, of course, the second championship. Then they won the third championship and the fourth championship. So 4 straight titles won by the Houston Comets. Tina Thompson, a Naismith Hall of Famer. Cheryl Swoops, a Naismith Hall of Famer. Kim Parrott, oh Lord, I hate what happened with her. Diagnosed with lung cancer. Her 3rd year in the WNBA, she ended up losing her battle to lung cancer in 1999. Very, very sad day for basketball, for women's basketball as well too. Rest in peace, Kim Parrott, who has an award named after her. And of course, you can't speak about the Houston Comets without talking about the 2-time MVP, the 4-time finals MVP, and my GOAT for the WNBA, Cynthia Cooper. Raise the roof, everybody. Now, this week's question is, the Golden State Valkyries broke the record for most wins won by an expansion team in their inaugural year. What team previously held this record? And I'll give you a hint. They are not a current WNBA team, but they will be back very, very soon. That is my time. Thank you guys for watching. If you want to watch more from Boom Broadcasting, hit these videos right here. I'll see you on Tuesday, where I'm discussing some NFL football. And then next Friday, we'll be talking about the all WNBA first and second teams and the all rookie team and the defensive teams is who I'll be talking about next week. Who are my picks for those? I'm Shannon Smith, and this is Quick Hits.